Oh, hello, and welcome to Al Dente Rigamortis. I'm Review Cultist.
I'm Mikey, the Stand Treble.
And I'm the gamer in yellow, but without the W, because that's too long.
And we're here to discuss those internet stories, most creepy and most pasta, and be critically silly doing it. And tonight we have a very special episode, as we are covering a story from one of our listeners to us, Al Dente Rigamortis, titled The Cottage. And
one of our quote-unquote listeners, Mr. Person who gives me a PDF to download. I've been fooled before by you on April Fools.
This
is a real early start here.
Because hey, this isn't getting released on April Fools.
We'll find out,
this was actually given to me I think about a month ago, basically a month into around November or December, I think, is when the listener contacted me about this. And they specifically told me to hold off on revealing who they were until after we had done our episode for it. So, but yeah, we are covering this story that a listener wrote for us called The Cottage. So, before we dive too far into it, let's give our initial recommendations. I'm going to partially recommend this one.
I'm going to not recommend this one.
Okay.
My God. I'll partially recommend this one.
All right. Well, let's find out why. Starting with the rundown. So, Review Cultist wakes up with a concussion and a pain in his side and finds that his family cottage is burning down. It's later in the winter, but the lake nearby is thawed, and as he calls out, he hears a noise coming from his floating dock. When he arrives, he finds Mikey, his ADR co-host, injured and on the dock. As Review Cultist helps him to shore, Mikey reveals that something came out of the woods and attacked him and Gamer in Yellow as they were heading to Review Cultist's place, taking Gamer in Yellow in the process and hurting Mikey's leg before retreating back into the tree line. The two manage to find the sugar shack on the property where Review Cultist's family cooks up maple syrup, unbeknownst to the Maple Mafia, to find that the power inside is on and the evaporator is running based off the steam coming out of the cupola, the chimney of the shack. When they go inside, Review Cultist is attacked and knocked out, waking up shortly after to find that it was his dog, Lucy, licking his face as she was cooped up in the sugar shack. They all get inside and hide in relative safety, though when they check their phones, there's no signal. While waiting... What?
Even on Lucy's phone?
Yeah, even on Lucy's phone, yeah.
Damn.
That's not actually in the story anybody listening to it.
It's not.
Gamer's making a funny. While waiting, Review Cultist checks the maple syrup, which is ready to be bottled. But as soon as he starts the process, the things outside start crashing about and yelling, "Give me the syrup, it's not for you," and the like. When light is shown on them, it is revealed that the evil maple trees are moving around outside, kind of like the Wizard of Oz trees, or like pop culture media shows like evil trees, like with an insidious like jack-o'-lantern style face. And that's what's behind the attacks outside. Review Cultist then looks at the filled bottle in his hand and doesn't recognize the color or engraved branding as one that is commonly used for their maple syrup. It's a red bottle with an elder sign on the cover on the bottle. Then he wakes up. Apparently, Review Cultist passed out at his gaming table, and his dad is calling him from the other room, telling him that Mikey is there and waiting for them to go out and open the cottage and the sugar shack for the season. As Review Cultist heads to his SUV where Mikey is waiting, his dad tells him to bring Lucy along and also hands him a paper bag with a bottle to fill up and bring back for someone who it's spoken for. In the bag was a red bottle with an inscription on the back that read, "Crafted with love. Finn."
Not just a red bottle, it's the same red bottle as in the dream.
Yes, although apparently it doesn't have the elder sign. You know, like no, it doesn't. It has a tree branch like symbol on it.
That's
not
what the
a
first one was.
No, okay. Yes, the first one in the dream had. I have a whole thing about this in my actual thoughts, honestly.
Okay.
But yeah, in the dream, it has the branch like symbol, which is the original like OG Lovecraft elder sign. But in reality, it's a maple leaf, and then on the other side it says "Crafted with love."
I completely read over that.
So did I
saw,
honestly.
Like, familiar shaped red bottle and went, okay, it's got the same sign.
I have a thing about this because I did the same thing. Honestly, you're not alone, and I have a bit about this. But
then cut me out saying cut it out.
I will do.
Okay.
So moving on to everyone tolerates the grammar inquisitions at this point. Mikey, do you have anything?
Yes, okay. I do.
All right.
I was very harsh because I assumed this was done by Cultist.
Yes. Yes.
Really? Okay.
So I have to put you in your place, you know.
Okay.
All right.
The
audience at home can't see this, but I have the biggest shit-eating grin on my face right now. Go on.
So, first sentence. As he came back to consciousness, Review Cultist, RC, felt both hot and cold and had a pain in his side. So, my problem is with the ands. So, the both hot and cold and had a pain. So, I feel it needs to be broken up with either a comma after cold or breaking off the pain in his side into a whole nother sentence.
Yeah, I could see that. Like maybe even have a comma, or even instead of that last "and" at the end there, like have it like hot and cold with a like replace that "and" with with maybe.
Yeah. Well, I did hot and cold. Period. He also had a pain in his side.
That could,
generally, you only want one "and" per sentence, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, especially with the both there, because you saying both hot and cold and pain. So there's three things.
So it should be hot, cold, and pain.
Mm-hmm.
Or, yes, other options. But either way, too many ands.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I have the same issue later on where, seemingly replaying the events from earlier that evening, he woke up both hot and cold and with an uncomfortable stitch in his side. So, literally just break it up. Because the both hot and cold is not helpful when there's a third item. All right, my next one here.
Sentence number 2. The entire story you just dissected. Yeah.
Let's see. Is it sentence number 2? It is sentence number 2.
Oh my god, I was joking. Jesus.
This is what you get.
Taking stock of his surroundings, he lay in the snow next to his family's cottage, which was in flames. So it's hard to have this come through in the podcast. But based on the commas in this, the surroundings are in flames.
But the cottage is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you typically use commas to interject something into the sentence. So taking out the laying in the cottage, the sentence reads, taking stock of his surroundings, which was in flames.
But
Okay.
But the last
So-
noun that was brought up is the family's cottage. It says he lay in the snow next to
Yeah.
his family's cottage, which was in flames.
Yeah. So, well,
So no.
it needs to be broken up a little bit in some way, because or made clearer.
What? Wait, hang. I
Um,
agree
like-
with Gamer. Actually, like this sentence seems fine.
If it said taking stock of his surroundings, which were in flames, while he laid next to the cottage, I would
Yeah.
agree with you. But it doesn't say that.
No, it says taking stock of his surroundings, he lay in the snow next to his family cottage, comma, which was in flames. Hence, his cottage, the family cottage, is the thing in flames.
well, or remove the comma. So, he lay in the snow, comma, next to his family's cottage, which was in flames.
Sure.
Yeah.
That would fix it for me.
Okay.
Okay, if it
Fair
fixes it for you and it doesn't wreck it for us, then that's a overall fix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got there.
All right. Next. This was not the normal season to be at the cottage, and even aside from the flames, things seemed wrong. I feel like this should be separated into a couple sentences, because the season has nothing to do with the flames. And seeming wrong.
Well, I think it's because like part of the wrong feeling is being there out of season as well. Maybe that's why he was
Yeah.
together with that. Because otherwise, it would just be like he was there out of season. Period. Moving on. Like it'd be too short of a sentence. It has to be connected to something, right?
Yeah.
Well, but saying it was not the normal season for him to be at the cottage, like having that cut out, and then the other section talking about the flames and things seeming wrong. It just
They are two
There-
very
there-
different things being talked about. I get it for sure.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I think what it's trying to say is like this was not the normal season for him to be at the cottage, and even aside from the flames, this seemed wrong. Like there's something off about this whole like situation. Aside from the fact that it's the cottage is on fire, and also this is the wrong season for him to even be here.
Yeah. He wasn't even supposed to be here today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sort of, it almost kind of is a prelude to what happened, the reveal we find later, or it's like a foreshadowing for what we find out later, where it's like this was all a dream kind of thing.
Yeah. All right. The next one. A gray SUV lay on its side in
Oh,
the driveway
Christ.
leading up to the house.
Is he actually going to?
Are you actually? Yeah. Are you legitimately going to go through like line by line?
If he has a problem with every line, then
Oh my
it's
God.
fine.
Okay, so tonight on a 4-hour episode. Jesus.
I'm sure it'll stop. It's fine.
Hopefully.
Yeah, it gets better at the end. So
Okay. Yeah. On the last paragraph.
He doesn't do the last sentence.
Yeah, we're good. Okay, so what do you have wrong with the third or fourth sentence now?
well, replace the comma with a semicolon.
Okay, yeah, I could. Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
I never know
a
when it's
simple
good
fix.
time to use a semicolon.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. Next one. The house was a loss, but shelter was available nearby in the sugar shack where RC's family processed their maple crop unbeknownst to the Maple Mafia.
What is wrong with that?
So, uh, I would split it up and add a semicolon after sugar shack. So the house was a loss, period. However, shelter was available nearby in the sugar shack, semicolon, where RC's family processed their maple crop, unbeknownst to the Maple Mafia.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I prefer the flow of it as it is. Because, like, if anything, the things that should be connected together with a semicolon are the house and referring to other shelter. Because they're similar, right? But they're, I don't know. I like it the way it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's me.
All right. Next one. There were no other cars there at the cottage, so RC reasoned he was likely alone. The
Okay.
second there is not needed. So there were no other cars at the cottage.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That is sort of they mostly come at night, mostly double word. Yeah.
Fair.
That one I'll accept.
That's the first one that's fine.
Yeah, that's the first one that's not an anal retentive version. Hey, if you're gonna call me out on my I mean on the author's bullshit, I'm gonna call you out on your bullshit.
He let it slip.
Or did I? Tap nose.
All right. Next, he racked his brain trying to remember the recent events that had led him here. Racked is the wrong racked, so get rid of the W.
Was it like racking a shotgun?
Is it really?
Well, the W racked means to destroy. The without the W racked
Oh, shit.
means to strain.
So
Yeah,
he
no, you're
destroyed
right.
his brain.
He just like wrecked his brain. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, I'm looking at like on I just googled like that the phrase with the without the W, and yeah, it's coming up with that. Okay.
That one's fine too.
Is it rack or racked? My brain. There's actually one of the questions. It can be either, but racking my brain is often considered more common or standard choice, with which relates to how the expression originated. In this phrase, the verb rack with no W references the tortured device called the rack without the W, in which a person was bound to a frame and was slowly stretched. So apparently it can be both, but like more commonly, it's the one without the W.
And then if the character was in like the Borderlands universe, there would be another spelling for racking your brain potentially.
Yeah, it'd be RAKK.
RAKK. Yes.
Yes.
Which are the weird flying. What were they?
They're basically like the hawks and like the terror birds of or the vultures of Borderlands.
Right. In the relative stillness and the light snow that was starting to fall, a clunk and some scraping was audible from the direction of the lake.
This is the start of paragraph 3, by the way.
I broke this into 2 sentences. So, in the relative stillness, comma, light snow started to fall, period. A clunk and some scraping was audible from the direction of the lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not against that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, not being that far away and with a path connecting to the shack, RC decided to check on the source of the sound. So, I rewrote that to being not that far away from the noise on a path connecting to the shack, comma, RC decided to investigate. And then the next one,
I have to double
Stumbling.
down on the like because the last thing that was mentioned in the previous sentence
Was the direction, the
was
sound from the
sound.
water? Yeah.
So
what am I doubling down on?
Well, because the end of the last sentence says that there's a sound, and then your correction is the start of this next sentence immediately references the sound again directly.
Yeah, I might almost
Is that
like
necessary because it was just referenced, then it's obviously referring to the sound.
So you're saying get rid of that and just say, on a path connected to the shack, RC decided to investigate?
No, I'm fine with it saying not being that far away because it's referring to the sound isn't very far away. Because we didn't get a distance from the sound previously, we just got that there's a sound in that direction.
the not being
Saying that
yeah,
he's not very far away from the sound.
Well, the problem is the beginning of the sentence, not being that far away, doesn't say what you're not being that far away from.
I would say this about this,
right? Because like every sentence doesn't have to completely stand on its own fully, right?
No,
because that's what paragraphs are for.
Yeah, I would say this, if like for correction for the sentence, have it changed, like the beginning of it to be like, since it was on the way to the shack, RC decided to check the source of the sound. Like, just get rid of the path part, like not being too and not being too far away. Just like kind of change it to be like, since it was on the way to the shack anyway, he decided to go check out the sound.
Yeah, it's more direct. It's not like referencing unnecessary things.
Yeah, and does kind of like help clarify what it's trying to say, which is the sound is on the way to the shack, so he decided to go check that out first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So the next one, stumbling slowly in a light daze, RC made his way to the lakeside. So I rewrote this that in a light daze, comma, RC slowly stumbled to the lakeside.
Yeah.
I mean, I can give or take either of them. What's wrong with the current one? Like they both work, but why not what we have?
Aside from just being very anal retentive. No, kidding, not kidding, because this is very anal retentive. I'm not gonna lie, Mikey. Like, I might put the timestamp for the grammar inquisition on this episode.
You could just say that you like the wording of yours better. That's all. And that's fine.
All right.
But in regards to those previous three that you just did, because those actually connected into the entire string of sentences that I linked for one of my grammar things, which is technically not grammar, but in my opinion, there's missing content here.
Okay.
For the first couple of paragraphs before this, I saw Cultist just laying in the snow the whole time as the scene was being described. And that only changed when it mentioned that he decided to stumble over to the sound towards the lake. Which, at first I was like, does it mean he crawled over? Because there was no scene of him getting up, just laying down and then stumbling. So basically, what I'm saying is a transition from laying to standing, in my opinion, would be good. So it'd be like, slowly stumbling to his feet. He was in a light daze, but RC made his way to the lakeside. Just so it's not just quick, like, scene cuts with no transition in between.
I think that might have been like, I mean, again, for extra clarity, yes, but I think that might have been popped up when he's in the first paragraph when he said taking stock of his surroundings.
He lay in the snow next to his
family. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I just kind of filled in the blanks that he got up, but yeah, I guess you could like add clarity to that, like he had gotten up at some point during that. So
yeah, but there was no mention of him getting up, so
sure,
it's entirely possible that he crawled to the lake, crawled into the water, got Mikey out, crawled all the way to the sugar shack, got headshotted by Lucy running out the door.
I mean, I have like smacked my head against her head. It's pretty hard. Yeah, it does. Yeah, when I'm trying to snuggle with that dog, I have gotten like a head, like a head, like a what is it when you like knock heads with somebody?
Headbutt.
I guess yeah. Just I have gotten headbutted by her, so yeah.
You can go now, Mikey.
All right.
Yeah. Continue, Mikey.
So the next one, a figure was visible, huddled on the dock, lying on its side and seemingly clutching its leg. Huddled, I don't think is the right word here, and it should be laying, not lying.
Yeah, huddled is like when you're playing foosball and you're all
Yeah.
not actually foosball is a completely different thing. When you're playing football and everyone's huddled together to discuss the play and all that is huddling.
Yeah. So I rewrote it to a figure was visible curled up on the dock, laying on its side, clutching its leg.
That's fair.
So next one. Head raising upon hearing RC's query, the figure was familiar. So I didn't like how this was written, so because it didn't, I didn't get the quite the right visualizing. So I rewrote to raising its head upon hearing RC's query. RC saw a familiar figure.
Yeah,
who the familiar, who noticed who the figure was, kind of deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Realized who it was. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So the next one. With vision swimming, RC realized that his attacker was his beloved, overweight, and ancient beagle, Lucy. I just added it.
No, I just said sweet Lucy. As she hacks upstairs. I can hear her from upstairs hacking.
Someone was talking about her.
Yeah, poor puppy.
Yeah. So I just added his, so with his vision swimming, RC realized that his attacker was his beloved ancient beagle.
I mean, that adds 3 hises in that same paragraph. To be honest, it could even. I would say even like remove the with and have vision swimming. RC realized that his attacker was his beloved beagle, or his beloved overweight and ancient beagle, Lucy.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right, and the next one is a little bit of a run-on. So, this being no small feat, with the dock being only partly moored and Mikey's injury, together they disembarked the dock, falling once, and slogged through the shallow, freezing water onto shore.
Okay, I just comment here. You went ahead with the Lucy bit and then jumped back to the dock.
Yeah, my grammar inquisition is all over the place.
Wow. Okay.
I tried to make sure they were in order, but
whoopsies happen. That's fine.
Yeah.
You have some plot holes in your grammar inquisition. New errors. It's fine.
All right. So the next one here. In the mounting gloom, without any moonlight filtering through cloud cover and thickening snowfall, the normally familiar maple forest took on a slightly sinister cast.
Yeah.
I don't think cast is the right word there.
I think you're wrong.
I think I read over that and didn't even consider that
'Cause
it
it's
was
like-
right or wrong.
Casting in a sinister light, like that kind of thing.
But there is no light.
No, but it's like it's a sinister tone then, or something like that. Like that's what it's trying to capture with that.
It says
Yeah.
any moonlight filtering through, so there was moonlight.
Yeah, so there's moonlight. So yeah, that's the sinister
Without
cast.
any moonlight.
Oh,
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, but I mean,
right.
it's I think it's still like a valid use of cast, but
Yeah.
cause light or shadow to appear on a surface. So it could be that it's casting shadows on the trees or on the forest.
Okay, but without any moonlight, there is nothing to cast shadows.
Yeah,
Other
the
than
clouds are
flaming,
casting.
other than the flaming cottage, but that's not mentioned.
Okay, well, fair.
Basically saying like the cloud, there's more cloud cover, and there's more snowfall, so there's less light coming through, so everything's darker, so everything is cast in a more sinister look.
Yeah.
I don't think it means cast as in casting light. It's like viewed as.
Yeah, it's casting a mood, or it's like,
Yeah,
Like you
well,
can replace it with visual.
yeah, but I think if you're going to use cast, move it so it's not the last word in the sentence,
I think
unless
you
you're
can still
being
use
purplely
cast, though.
prosy.
And I think that's what's going on here. Apparently, Mikey doesn't like the color purple when it's tied to prose.
Not yellow.
That's fair.
Are there any yellow pros?
Yeah, actually, that there is actually such a thing as yellow prose. That's actually yellow journalism is considered like basically like what TMZ or like tabloids are usually like, or like the pulps back in the day.
Nice.
It was not a compliment. It was
It's nice.
sure. I mean, back then, like I'm not accusing, like I'm not saying like, oh, that wasn't a compliment to you. I'm just saying like, yeah, being called a yellow journalist was not a compliment back in the day because it is like
Really,
basically
yellow
you're
anything is not
Yeah.
a compliment, honestly.
yeah.
It's like
Well,
the
because-
most offensive color.
yeah. Anyway,
Eyes of fear and cowardice.
yes.
Mhm.
Continue, Mikey. Otherwise, we're going to be here all day with the
Alright.
grammar.
Oh, yeah.
So the next one. Wind was picking up, chilling the pair to the bone and causing the trees to sway and creak. I put the in front of wind, so the wind was picking up.
Sure.
I don't know if that's necessary, but sure.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I could
I mean,
take it
it's
or leave it,
fine.
honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it goes back to the waves that are larger than normal, so there should already be a fair amount of wind.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Anyway, next one. Each movement and each new sound from the forest caused Mike E to flinch, throwing RC off balance as he supported his injured friend. So there's two ways or two things here. So there's really an extra each. So I have each movement and sound from the forest. Or
I mean, I'd still keep the new, like each movement and
yeah,
new
you can have the
sound.
new.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't need
Yeah.
that second each.
I'd agree with that.
So. So. And
And you
next
already did.
one.
Oh, is this before or after
what?
the dog attack?
Don't know.
God damn.
I cannot tell you.
God damn you.
So after what felt like an eternity, the sugar shack came into view, its appearance adding to the strangeness of the night. So I put a comma after eternity. And let's see. And its appearance added to the strangeness of the night. So
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Yeah.
all right. Next. The doors were closed, but the lights were on. The steam was wafting from the cupola on the roof.
Yeah.
I don't think cupola is the right word. Chimney
I
makes more sense.
yeah, I gotta take a look at what a
Literally
couple
looked
is.
this up. It's a word I've never heard before, but I looked it up, and it's literally just the raised section of the roof.
Oh,
There
yeah.
are some sugar shacks. Like I literally looked up sugar shack cupola, and there are some that have it. It's just like the little raised section.
Yeah.
The windows in it,
Yeah, it's or in
or
I guess
vents,
it probably
or what have you. Yes.
yeah, and that makes sense for a sugar shack because usually they because maple syruping is an evaporation procedure, so they need somewhere for that steam to go. So yeah,
it
that
has
makes
a
sense.
form of chimney. It's just not a traditional chimney.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't know what that meant. I assumed it meant like some kind of venting chimney thing. So I didn't even bother looking it up until just now. So
Well, when I
On
looked up just
here.
cupola, I saw the dome
yeah,
of a roof.
and that is the first thing you see on Google. But like,
Yes, that is
yeah,
the first thing, and that's when I'm like, is this the right thing? Sugar Shack cupola. Oh, there we go.
there we go. Yeah,
It literally just means any sort of like domish thing on the top. It could
Yeah.
be the entire thing, or it could just be a little section of the roof. It doesn't even have to be a dome. It's just like a little extra bit.
yeah. Yeah, and looking at
Right.
Sugar Shacks, yeah, it makes way more sense like what it is now. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Basically, that
So
definition was context sensitive. Like
Yeah.
all the things in Conquer's Bad Fur Day.
mhm.
Sure.
That's where I first learned context sensitive.
Ah, oh, you are the gamer in yellow.
I am.
All right. So the next one here. Someone had clearly been here today and was processing the sap into syrup for bottling. Honestly, it's an unneeded the. So, and someone was processing sap into syrup for bottling.
Yeah, I'd take it or leave it, but yeah.
Yeah, there's no harm in
All right.
like. That was fine.
Yeah.
All right. The next one. Mikey helped RC to his feet, almost falling over himself with the effort, and the three made their way into the sugar shack and closed the door.
This is again after your previous switcheroo where you dashed my dreams like, oh man, he skipped a whole bunch of stuff. Nope, he's going back.
He realized
All right.
sentences.
Yes.
Please continue.
So
Yes, please continue.
the issue with this one is that Sugar Shack is capitalized, and it's the only time in the story it's capitalized.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
But if he calls it the Sugar Shack, then it's technically a name to it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
but you should maintain capitalization of what you're calling it
Yes,
throughout the
that's
story.
entirely fair. Yes.
Mhm.
All right. All right. Next one. Percy checked his phone, seeing he had no signal, while Mike E leaned into recounting the events that led to the current situation. I didn't think leaned really worked there.
I found that strange too, but
I
I didn't think about what to put there instead.
yeah, I just
Well,
I also like hiccuped on, like, not hiccup, but like I noticed that, and I just kind of like left it, like
Because
let it
we got
go.
it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are doing grammar here, so that should be a different word probably. If all of us are like,
yeah. Well, I rewrote it to while Mikey started to recount the events that led to the current situation.
yeah.
Yeah, fair.
All right. And then we got a run on, or one that seemed pretty long anyway. It was basically how he remembered it, but with some syrup in the final stages of prep before bottling, with a bottle underneath the fill spigot.
That's all one.
That's all one sentence. So, yeah, just it should be broken up a bit. I don't actually have a note on what it should be broken up into.
Probably break
I'm
up
sorry, sir, but
it's how it was, like him remembering how it was basically, period, and then describing how it is now.
yeah, I didn't put like maybe
Yeah.
a semicolon after remembered it. Just
Yeah.
kind of like show that like he's like this is how he like this is how he remembered it, and then like go into it.
Mhm.
Oh, but it was
Yeah.
like but with the syrup. Yeah, never mind. Maybe like it was basically how he remembered it, period. However, with there was some syrup in the final stages of prep. Or that said, there was some syrup in the final stages of prep and blah 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 blah.
Yeah. All right. So the next one here, I'm getting close to the end here.
Are we? Are you sure?
You missed the fourth sentence. You want to go back to that one?
Yeah.
um, wake up! It's getting late,
Hold on a little bit of makeup.
Mikey.
Damn it! We were just
We're
talking about that
the
before
lyrics
recording.
of Chopsuey before recording. Sorry.
I was like, I literally like bit my fist.
I couldn't. It was right there. I didn't have time. If I brought my fist up that fast to bite it, I would have punched myself in the mouth. Okay, please continue.
Yeah, sorry, continue. Like,
Yeah. So wake up! It's getting late. Mikey is spelt wrong.
I have a bit for that for my actual thoughts, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, the next one, which is later, stumbling to his feet and quickly getting ready to leave, RC started walking out of the house towards a familiar gray SUV, which held his friend Mikey, and it also spelt wrong. In which my note here is, unless this is spelt this way because it's different in the waking world. Dun,
Are
dun,
we
dun.
a dream? No, wait, hang on. Does ADR actually stand for a dream reality? What? I actually have something to do with demonology about this also. Do you want me to bring it up now, or like should I save it till?
I think you do know.
Okay, so here's my thought about this, about like the fact that Mikey is spelled wrong. So this actually popped in as an idea when I read that, like, oh, Mikey's name is spelled wrong. Mike E, so MIK.E is how we've always like said it and spelled it. Is spelled Mikey MIKEY in at the end of this story in the waking world.
Like how you would refer to a Ninja Turtle.
Yeah, and that's how we, and I can understand like if somebody doesn't like, I mean, the most of the story, like the person obviously knew what Mikey's spelling was based on like our title cards and stuff like that, and our descriptions in the show notes and stuff. So, but the idea that popped in my head when I read this part was, does Mike E, our favorite cosmic demon, use a more human, normal name like this in reality? Or are we just using his true name every time we converse? Does that mean we have more power over him? Is that how we're able to summon / bind him and subject him to creepypasta after crappypasta every week, according to demonology, as demonology might suggest?
Yes, exactly that.
And this also prompted a gameable idea where it's like that might actually be a fun little like scenario to throw into like unknown armies. Some podcasters summon and bind a demon for their podcast show.
And he has to do it.
Yeah, and he is contractually obligated because they found out his true name.
Mhm.
Because yeah, if when you learn the true name of a supernatural being, usually a demon or fae, you have power over them. So
I feel like that could absolutely be in like Shadowrun and shit like that.
oh
so-
yeah, 100%. I'll say yes. Sorry, Mikey. But yeah, it like I noticed that as well, and I was like, is this like it made me wonder because like I mean I know the person who wrote this has seen our title cards, knows what Mikey looks like, but like they purposely gave a human form to Mikey, it seems here, and it's like, is this what Mikey looks like to the rest of us, or to like the rest of like everybody else? He actually looks human, not like the star demon. But yeah, it was an interesting like it popped in the like that this potential like error or just this weird like change of the name but like similar name like kind of brought up this like ideas like of perhaps expanding the mythos of Al Dente Rigor Mortis.
It was done intentionally, by the way.
Oh, I'm sure it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like originally I thought it was,
scene,
but
right?
yeah, it's right after a review cultist wakes up from the dream.
Yeah.
So it's like, and it's his dad that says his name like that. It was like, okay, so maybe the dad doesn't know that he's a demon, kind of thing. But yeah, so Grammar Inquisition or actual thought, you decide, audience. As I walk away.
All right. And now it's time for a conjunction junction.
Oh my god. Okay. And next stop, conjunction junction. Toot toot.
It was Mikey. It's in the trees. But he was wrong. The cottage was no longer an option. It was basically how he remembered it, but with some syrup in the final stages of prep before bottling, with a bottle underneath the fill spigot. It's not for you. It's getting late. Finn.
I would just like to point out that some of that was dialogue, and how dare you?
It's fine.
Well, do you,
Yeah, no,
do you
it's
want me
fine.
to do it
It's
without
fine.
the dialogue?
No, you've already gone this. Let's get this. Yeah.
I do like how that went because like
Yeah.
it starts saying like it's Mikey, and then it's saying like it's in the trees, so Mikey is in the trees. And
Yeah.
it's like the cottage is no longer an option because the cottage is in the trees where
Oh,
Mikey
Oh no. Yeah, that's
is. You
true.
live in a treehouse.
Well, yeah, so that's canon. Mikey now lives in a treehouse.
Yeah.
He's
I was
got to
surprised
battle
that
those.
Your cottage is the treehouse now.
Oh yeah, and he has to battle squirrels that come at him at full force. I want to run that scenario, goddamn, or write that story.
Mhm.
Mikey versus the demon squirrels.
The Christmas critters.
Yeah.
But yes, for those unaware, Mikey grabs sentences throughout the story that start with words that they probably shouldn't, like its, ands, or buts, because there's always better words to use.
Mhm.
Even if it's dialogue.
Yes. Gamer, what do you have
Hi.
for grammar in yellow?
Not a lot, honestly. And not because he got
I should
most
hope
of
not.
them. Yeah.
All right, starting on sentence 1. No.
Yeah, so sentence 1, here we go. Actually, you know what? Before sentence 1.
The paragraph or the title?
No, before the title. The link in the freaking email you gave me, noticing it's a download, and my suspicion started rising. It's basically just that.
Okay, sure.
Because you
Is
know,
there a Sarah in this story? I think not.
that's true.
Well, maybe not, but there is a capital S followed eventually by a lowercase a, and then a lowercase r, and then a lowercase a,
Every
and then
the
a
first
lowercase h.
the first 6 paragraphs all start with a capital SARAH.
My God,
Sorry, that's 5. That would be 5 paragraphs.
that'd be awesome, though.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah, long story short, I will always be
Yeah.
suspicious of you giving me a random download link because
You
you
know,
burned me once.
tough but fair. Yeah. Burn me once, shame on you. Burn me twice. Fuck you, review cultist.
But yeah, I get on reading a bit, and it's like a gray SUV lays outside in the driveway leading up to the house. Front bumper smashed in with one wheel still slowly spinning. So then I'm like, I know for a fact that there ain't any cars at the review cultist cottage.
I
Though
mean,
this is out of season, so there could have been driving over the lake.
this
happening.
also, I mean, review like this is a fiction.
Yes,
Hmm.
There could be also actually cars have been on the island before.
my God. How? Where do they drive?
The barge takes them across.
Yeah, but where do they drive when they get there? There's like
The back
just-
path is actually considered a road in the town we're in.
Is it actually wide enough to drive a car?
Yeah, it's
I
wide
thought,
enough.
like golf carts were like small, like
No, it's actually
Hopping
tall
the
enough.
road.
Fuck, it's tall enough to hold like massive construction trucks for building cottages and stuff. So yeah, it's
Okay.
a designated road.
fair enough then, I guess. But either way,
Yeah.
I get on reading a little bit more, and then it says waves, not common unless made by the wake of a passing boat, were lapping at the shore. So before that, I was like, okay, it's winter because it's out of season, and it references snow. There's cars there because it's frozen,
Reasons.
so you can drive over. And then it starts mentioning waves. I'm like, piss. So it's spring then. The
Yeah.
ice melted, but there's still a light amount of snow on the ground. Okay, fine, I got that. Also, I'm starting to suspect you didn't write this comics at this point.
What?
Yeah. But then we'll move on to me beginning to read the story. So first sentence, starting off in media res, hell yeah, love it, hate it. That being said, the story handles media res quite well here.
Yeah.
It doesn't take too long to get to the info that we need, so it honestly did not bother.
Yeah, and it's an it also explains why it's in media res. Like he wakes up from a concussion.
Yeah.
So and he immediately scopes out the situation, and we get that kind of scoping out. So you get the information you need. So yeah.
And then says this was not the normal season to be at the cottage, and even aside from the flames, things seemed wrong. I feel like a break in the middle would help, because the way I read it is this was not the normal season to be at the cottage, and even aside from the flames, like the cottage and even it was too quick and needs a break there, in my opinion. So it'd be this was not the normal season to be at the cottage, and even aside from the flames, things seemed wrong.
Yeah.
Then we skip along towards the end. The bottle was red glass with a raised symbol on one side of a forking tree branch surrounded by an oval.
Yes.
That's how I read it.
Mhm.
And I had to reread it multiple times to overcome that stumble that I had. Basically, the addition of the symbols in the location, like in the middle of it, threw me for a loop. And I feel like it would flow better if it goes, the bottle was red glass, and on one side there was a raised symbol of a forking tree branch surrounded by an oval. Instead of with a raised symbol on one side of a forking tree branch. Because it sounds like there's a forking tree branch, and on one side of the forking tree branch there's a raised symbol.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's about it for grammar.
Okay. Well, let's go to actual thoughts. Now that we've escaped the grammar inquisition.
I did actually accidentally read my first 2 actual notes as well. I was scrolled to the wrong section. I need to color code these differently. When they're all yellow, it's hard to know.
Yeah, true. Well, you only use yellow memo paper. So
Yes.
So yeah, on to actual thoughts. I'm gonna start with this one here. A gray SUV lay on its side in the driveway, blah 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 blah.
Yes.
So listen, this might be a nitpick. Personally. But the SUV should have been green instead of gray. I know that the writer couldn't really know that necessarily, though I have drawn the cultist's vehicle. Use it. Yeah, it's actually been in a couple of our title cards. Usually when I've got if you go back to the episode on YouTube where it's the Eyeless Jack episode, I can't remember which one. Future me, put in the number now. Boop. It's episode 50 of El Dente Rigor Mortis. Jesus Christ, that was years ago. Boop. Usually the SUV, and usually it is an SUV. So, and I have specifically made it green. And I think, I mean, not to dox my fictional self, but the license plate is R Cult.
Of course.
So,
Yeah.
But yeah, so like, yeah, the
So-
gray SUV, like when I first read that, I was like, excuse me, that needs to be fixed.
Okay. Well,
But yeah,
way to out our fan as not a super fan.
it's funny because I feel bad now about that. Thank you, Mikey, that you pointed that out, because he is probably one of our biggest super fans, honestly.
Yeah, and now I can just envision him crying, like, "Oh crap, I got that wrong." Boo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
No, he's probably just like, it's like he's probably just like looking like on and just like smiling, waiting for his time. Yeah. But I'll continue with it's a simple and it's just a simple correction. Just needs to be from gray to green. And you know what? Who knows? Maybe that's not even the cultist's car. Maybe the gray SUV is Mikey's car.
Oh, he was in it at the end.
Yeah, and he was.
And the passenger side.
Shut
You're
up.
being courteous and letting him drive your vehicle.
Or maybe it's father cultist's car.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Yeah, who can say?
Who's really pissed off that Mikey's sitting in the passenger seat? Like, get
him
your
out of
friend
there.
out of here.
Anyway, I'll move on to the next thing I have. RC checked his phone with seeing he had no signal, while Mikey leaned into recounting the events that led to the current situation. There's something big in the woods. Whatever it is moves quickly and sounds like thunder. I saw it take, and then in like, what kind of like what brackets are those? Like, what's that?
They square brackets?
In square brackets. Yeah, in square brackets. The gamer in yellow, but without the W because it's so long. End bracket. Without really seeing what exactly it was. So, honestly, the phone signal issue tracks. Even if it's in the story, it's technically a dream. The actual cottage has lousy reception for cell phones. So like, yeah, that was an accidental nailing of an actual thing that happens. Also, I do feel like Mike E should have gotten his full title. The E stands for evil. When the gamer got our silly bit for it for when we reference his Twitter handle.
Here's the difference. That's referenced once. Mikey's referenced multiple times.
I know, but like, you could have said the first time,
and then like,
yeah. And unless gamer in yellow without the W, because the name is very long, has been gamer in yellow's name the whole time, and we've just never realized it. Gamer, care to comment?
No.
Do you actually have a W at the end of your name or not?
That's for me to know and for you to never know.
Okay, fair enough.
Because if you know, then you have power over me.
That's true. So the ambiguity is what keeps you safe.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. All right, moving on to the next thing I have here.
Also, I just because I have a note on this as well.
Sure, yeah.
I do like that in story, Mikey references that my name that way. I feel like in that situation, that's how it would happen. Like, you gotta make a switch to hide the fear, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's a common defense mechanism when dealing with fear. Is like comedy or quips. So it's like, I saw it take the gamer in yellow, but without that W at the end because it's so long. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. But I'll move on to the next thing here. Mikey's light fell upon a hideous sight. of one of the maple trees moving. As the light played across the trunk, it revealed that what looked like a face. Not a human face, but like what you see on evil trees in popular fiction, with slitted eyes and jagged mouths splitting the bark. Okay, so yeah, my one grammar inquisition is it should say not a human face, but like what you see, not like what you saw on evil trees and blah blah. But the an idea here I actually have for this scene to make it a little bit creepier and cooler, or maybe even a little bit more like to involve Gamer a little bit more into this, other than just getting picked off camera, is to make it so that like there's a more dire situation as Gamer is inside the jaws fighting this monster off. or even that like he like maybe if you want to have him dead, like have him just being like you can see him like crunched inside the mouth of one of these creatures.
Yeah, like as it's talking.
Yeah, or impaled on like its branches or something like that. But yeah, like I like the idea of like as it's like talking, so that you see Gamer like trying desperately to fight off this like monster, like almost like the guy from Jaws, like trying to fight off the shark as it's eating him. And even have it creepier that like there's no sound from him, even it's just the sound of the creature like talking. So it's just like this weird, again, adds to that surrealness of this dream sequence. But yeah, also just to include Gamer a little bit more, because I feel like Gamer got kind of a dirty hand here with this. Like,
it's fine. The more characters you have right in, the longer that your story is, and the more characters you have to keep track of. So I get it.
That's fair. Right, there's only 3 of us. You were effectively replaced by Lucy, an aged beagle. So
I didn't realize that until just now. I mean, okay, it's dog. I get it. That's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah,
that is fair. I am fine to give up my place to that sweet doggo.
Yeah, she is a sweetheart. But I'll move on to the next thing here. Looking down at the bottle in his hand, RC noticed that it did not appear to be the normal kind of bottle they commonly used. The bottle was red, with a raised symbol on one side of a forking tree branch surrounded by an oval. So I thought this was a very nice reference to Lovecraft, given my cultist nature, and like the nature of my family cultisms and such. Even using the original Elder Sign, and instead of the derelict version that is like everyone knows and loves, is the which is the star with the burning eye in the center of it. Instead,
what is this symbol?
The Elder Sign, created by Lovecraft, was basically just a tree branch with a couple of like lines branching off of it, and that was it. Like it was basically, I think it was supposed to be like a reference to like an elder tree, hence why it's called the Elder Sign.
Yes, but what does the sign mean?
It's just a war. It kind of changes depending on the fiction, but it's a ward to either ward off mythos entities or to give somebody power, like mythos power.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think more often than not, it's used as a way of like keeping things away from you, like keeping the elder creatures away from you, than versus like attracting them. So
how come it attracted them in this story then?
That's what I say. Well, maybe the original Elder Sign attracts mythos entities.
You did also say that they have multiple uses.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, but also like the star Elder Sign is often used more for like warding off things. Whereas I often see the other one, like you don't really see the other one doing much aside from like just kind of filling in the place of the star one. Maybe the branching Elder Sign attracts Elder Taurs, or like kind of like brings them in, like it's almost like a summoning ward, versus the other one that's actually repels them.
Yeah,
something to perhaps consider. And then the next thing I have here is from outside, the voice bellowed again. It's getting late. Time to go. With one more crash, RC was jarred awake. So yeah, this all turned out to be a dream, though the ending of the actual story, the full story, like as it's sort of repeating, it's sort of like going into what happened at the beginning of the dream, could be interpreted as the story was a portent of something to come. Like, I also like just sort of like the dream, like Cultist had a dream, like that was a premonition of like what's to come as he's like going to the gray SUV and driving to his cottage. And is he going to like something going to happen and he's going to wake up unconscious, like from being concussed, and his car's been flipped over and the cottage is on fire and all that stuff. Like, it's sort of like it's in a loop now. Or kind of like has like that kind of that horror angle where like it's just entered a loop. I also like the idea that perhaps the ADR crew slipped into the Dreamlands that night and had to deal with a simulacrum of the cultists' family property. I could actually see using that in something like Call of Cthulhu or Trail of Cthulhu, using the Dreamland supplements, similar to like Dreamhounds of Paris, where like you enter the Dreamlands as like an artist or like as somebody. I mean, what's a podcaster but like an audio artist?
Sure.
In some cases, but yeah, like having like using creativity to control like the Dreamlands and stuff like that, or like getting sucked into the Dreamlands as a result of what you do, and then dealing with like a weird simulacrum of like the podcaster's home and stuff like that. And then like you could even have that the elder god or mastermind behind the scenario or the situation is Hypnos, a seldom used Dreamlands god. And one of their signature like things is poppies, which are red flowers, like the red bottle of the maple syrup bottle. I don't know. It got a little bit of my brain working as I was reading through this, and like for a moment, like as I was talking, like thinking about the dream sequence and like how it could be like used for like a horror thing, kind of pulled me into this idea for like using it for a scenario. So,
Not gonna lie, when you started talking about Hypnos, I thought you were talking about the Pokemon.
it's spelled the same, but like Hypnos is also it's a Pokemon, and also it's the name of a god.
It's actually
From
Hypno
what?
is the Pokemon.
Oh, Hypno, yeah.
Still, it confused me.
And then my next thing here is so this is when after he wakes up, it's like he was sitting at the gaming table at his game. He was sitting at his gaming table at home, both hot and cold, and with a painful stitch in his side. The heat was from the space heater pushed up closer than normal on one side. The cold was from a drink that had been spilled, possibly by moving around in his sleep. The pain in his side was from being slumped over the arm on his chair, lying on a D20 poking his ribs. Ah, yes. The mornings after my GMing benders can be quite lousy and painful. The things I do for our sister podcast, One Less Die, an actual play podcast that you can check out as well. Plug.
Nice plug.
Also, I just wanted to say for the record, we do play some a lot of D20 games on One Less Die. We also play other game systems as well, like Shadowrun, Monster of the Week, and Vossen. So yeah, you can check that stuff out there. But I will move on. And then we get to the last part, which I think we've kind of hinted at and brought up in your guys' Grammar Inquisition stuff. So, looking in the sack, he saw a familiar shaped red bottle, a raised maple leaf on one side, and on the other, a simple phrase, crafted with love. So, wait, wouldn't it be creepier and perhaps cooler if it was the bottle with the elder sign on it instead of something ordinary? Like, yes, it's colored red,
That's
which
what
is
I
out of the
assumed
ordinary.
it was.
Well, and hang on, yeah. Like when I first read this story, like I've read this story like 3 times now, like for this. When I first read the story, I swear I thought it was the bottle from the original dream. But when I read it again over to grab my notes and stuff, I found that it was like there were differences between the two bottle scenes, and I was left confused. So I think it would be creepier or even cooler if it was sort of it kind of had a Dreams in the Witch House sort of vibe, where it was the bottle from the dream, like it was something that was like that was pulled out of the dream that we just read about, and like it pulled into the waking world.
Yeah, even if he just pulls it out, sees it as the exact same, and then like shuts his eyes and shakes his head and opens his eyes and then it looks normal again.
Yeah,
Like even that, because
like
that could be saying like it is still the messed up one, but it didn't have its glamour up in time, basically.
yeah, or like he's like seeing like two worlds kind of thing. Like he's seeing
Yeah, or
the
that.
overlaying of something. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that I think would have been a lot cooler, like a lot creepier, than having it not be the the same bottle. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I liked when it's like with a simple phrase on the back, crafted with love. It's like, ha, I get it, because Lovecraft.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. But that's my actual thoughts on the cottage. So,
Alright.
Mikey, these tents are evil.
All right, so I'll continue talking about the bottle some more.
Yeah.
So when I got to the end, I had the whole it was all a dream, or was it vibe?
Yeah.
Because of the red bottle. But then I was like, wait, did the symbols match? And then I went back and like, no, the symbols they don't. So the vibe turned into basically, yep, it was all a dream. Like,
yeah, and
Yeah.
that's the problem. That I think that I totally agree. I think that's what needs to be fixed to make this a little bit better.
Mhm.
Is to make it the bottle.
yeah. All right. Do.
Because yeah, for me, like I did not reread it, so I, like you guys, assumed it was the same bottle and did not change that assumption until we started recording. And you guys brought up that, oh crap, it's actually not.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's 3 for 3.
All right. So onwards to Grammar Inquisition 2.0. No.
What?
Well, I have actual thoughts, but they're
Sentence by
mainly
sentence.
just
Sorry.
description. well, not that bad, but some of it's just it could be easily be changed by changing the grammar. But so the first actual thought here: touching his throbbing brow, nothing came to mind, just a sense of urgency and the knowledge that he likely had a concussion. So the fact that he got the knowledge that he likely had a concussion means that something did come to mind.
That's not. I hate you sometimes.
That's normally my job. I'm normally the one just paid.
Yeah. It's. I feel like Mikey's being a little like I guess because you thought that I had actually written this story, so you were being a lot more like heavily critical about it. just to piss me off, maybe. I don't know.
Is it working?
Yes, but it's also funny because I know the truth.
All right. So the next actual thought: waves, not common unless made by the wake of a passing lake boat, were lapping on the shore. And to which my thought is, well, waves are rather common on
Yeah,
lakes. Like even the basic of wave.
especially our lake, like the lake where my cottage is on, like both in our ADR fiction and real life.
That's basically
Yeah.
saying is normally the lake is relatively calm, and like any
Yeah.
substantial wave only comes in when there's passing boats.
That's also not
Yeah.
true. But again, the writer doesn't necessarily know like the conditions of like where the lake and the cottage. So they're fabricating their own version of it.
So,
So
like, you
yeah.
can't say it's
Well-
right or wrong because you
Yeah.
didn't write it right.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Like, yeah,
potentially wrong, but you didn't, so it's fine.
yeah. I'm poking at it because I know what the actual setting is, but like I'm not mad at the person who for like,
No.
or I'm not like criticizing them seriously for like that kind of stuff, because like they wrote it based off what knowledge they knew and like or didn't know. So yeah.
And
Alright.
that description
Yeah.
is quite fair for a general purpose cottage.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like it would have been fine if they had a size of the waves associated with it.
Yeah,
Like
that's true.
if they said large waves, not common
like-
unless made by a passing boat, were lapping on the shore.
Yeah.
Like
Or like large white caps. Like,
Say
'cause
large.
yeah.
I meant large. Yeah, I went into like a large. Large. Yeah. I just had a micro stroke. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, like large like white caps kind of lapping on the shore. Also, I mean, again, this is no actual serious like gripe against the author and the writing here. I got the impression that they didn't put the cottage on an actual island. They put it on the shoreline of the island, or they put it on the shore of the mainland. So
Yes.
yeah, hence why like the SUV. Honestly, I think that's like why like the SUV, like why they mentioned the SUV and stuff like that, and like how it's so close to the cottage and stuff. But yeah,
You're not a filthy
All
man.
right.
Then.
no. This is I mean, it's my island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So the next one is a consistency thing.
Okay.
So technically that falls under grammar, but it's next to that. Anyway, in the undulating motion of the water, the dock, which would normally still be put away for the winter, creaked and slowly bumped against the shore. To which my response is, shouldn't it be clanked and scraped? Because that's the
No.
noises that were coming from the lake.
Oh, that's. I kind of assume that was Mikey doing that, like scraping and some of that. But I kind of understand where you're coming. Like you think it's like it should be the dock that was making those noises, not necessarily the hell. Yeah, I'm just gonna mute my phone. Sorry, continue.
Yeah. So yeah, that was my comment there. Is like we get clanking and scraping noises coming from the lake, and then when we see the dock, it's creaking and bumping noises.
Yeah, which my headcanon now, like this is something I will actually take from the story. My headcanon is that the cultist family, like Cottage, they have a floating dock rather than one that you have to like bring in and put like kind of like has legs down to the bottom of the lake bottom and stuff.
Well, no, it says that the dock is normally put away, but that one piece of dock is not put away. So what I'm assuming happened is Mikey got attacked by the tree thing, and he like grabbed one of the docks and like dragged it out in the lake so he could be away from it, so he's not on land.
I didn't get. I got the complete assumption that it was a floating dock though, like not.
Well, obviously it floats because otherwise you'd be at the bottom of the lake.
Yeah, but I mean, there like that is actually a type of dock that is common up here too. Like there are the ones that you like, and again, both can be brought in and out during like the winter seasons and stuff.
Yeah.
But like yeah, I like the way this one is described, like bobbing in the waves and stuff like that, and like undulating in the waves and such, like that to me sounds more like a floating dock that like basically that maybe Mikey just pulled out. I was like,
I just said this.
Huh?
I literally just said this.
I know. I'm just saying, and and I'm explaining. Like,
yes, you're right.
Fine, you're right. Fuck you.
Good. Now I have the hate. You're welcome, Mikey. I pulled aggro. Like right behind him, get your double damage.
Continue. Yeah.
All right. So here's some more critically silliness. Mikey's eyes were a little crazed, but they soon melted into relief.
Oh no.
And then Mikey had no eyes.
Yeah, there's the horror. It's like, oh.
Finally, I don't have eyes anymore. That's the relief. He doesn't have to see the monsters anymore.
Yeah.
Now blinded, he has to be led around by RC.
Yeah.
So, the next quote here. Mikey's eyes snapped to the force behind RC. They got my leg. Help me off this thing, replied Mikey, gesturing to the dock. At this point, I assumed that Mikey had no leg.
I also assumed that at this point, and I think I think what you're about to bring up, it doesn't follow through with that consistently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is funny to think when that the author thought there was no leg, but because there's certain things that
Well,
lead to that. Like
yeah.
the next quote here, this was no small feat, because since
God damn
well,
it.
there's one leg.
I think that was unintentional, but god damn it.
And then earlier in his grammar position, but also again assuming one leg.
Yeah.
RC checked his phone, seeing he had no signal, while Mikey leaned into recounting the events that led to the current situation.
See, here's the thing. I honestly think that's something that the character if the author should address or make that more clear that he actually lost the leg to have those funnies or those kind of silly kind of morbid humor to it, because I got the impression that at first oh yeah, he lost his leg, but then it sounded like he just his leg got hurt, not that it was removed by the creature. So but I think they should go full lean into that, and that the tree bit his leg off, and so now he's just legless there, or he has one leg for the rest of the story. Yeah, I think that would actually be really would be an improvement to the story.
Then my next actual thought here. They quickly negotiated back and forth. They agreed that the Sugar Shack was their safest choice. So I feel this was the perfect opportunity to have some more dialogue.
Yeah.
It's a story, they're talking. Don't just tell us they talked, give us the talking.
Yeah, it's the show, don't tell sort of situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, what did they need to negotiate? Was Revue Cultist charging Mikey for his help to get off the dock?
Well, no, I understand. The negotiation thing is it's just used as they had a conversation. That's they were debating back and forth what to do.
But it really couldn't be that long of a conversation that you couldn't just write at the conversation. Is what he's.
Yeah, I also agree. I think it should have been there should have been a little bit of dialogue here to kind of give us that negotiation or that dialogue. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The cottage is up in flames. Okay, where could we haul out? Sugar Shack's probably the closest place. All right, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or we could have. Just a quick aside. It's because I remember right before that it was Mikey's we gotta get to the cottage. It's the safest place. And it just and the next bit of dialogue is Cultist just being actually about that. It's not actually. It's not really the safest place anymore. Wait, why? What happened? It's on fire. What?
Or Cultist goes about that. Yeah. Then the scene shifts over for a second to the burning cottage with the roof collapsing in. And then maybe
maybe Mikey comments quips back. It's well, that would explain the wood burning smell. Or the smell of burning wood and regret. Yeah. Oh yeah. So I think we can all agree a little bit some dialogue would have been showing and not telling, and having some dialogue there would have been a nice addition to this or correction to the story.
Yes.
Okay. Next actual thought here. I have a quote. Soaked from their fall into the lake, this would quickly become a problem, as would the failing light. So, I feel, this is the second time that it's mentioned that they fell into the lake.
Yeah.
And I feel there needs to be more emphasis on the first fall, because neither of the characters respond to falling into the lake and being cold and wet.
Yeah, that is as somebody who has gone into the water in the late fall, early spring to get their dock in or out, it is always a jolt. And I have not done a polar bear dip yet in my life, but I have jumped in the water far too early in spring as a kid. I've jumped in the water far too early, and while there's still ice visible on the lake. and it has been a jolt. So yeah, there would definitely be some reaction to the temperature.
Yeah, because it talks about it like the story knows that later in the story there will be repercussions to them jumping in the lake.
Yeah.
But there aren't. But
Yeah.
it's basically saying, like, because they're cold, if they don't find shelter, there will be problems. And they
Yeah.
find shelter, so there's no problems.
Yeah, but there should be some like lead up to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see here. RC was the one who was surprised as he heard an excited baying and was bowled over as something solid and heavy hit his shins. It is later revealed that it is Lucy.
Yes.
I don't know if Lucy would ever just go straight for the shins and cause cultists to fall over.
Okay.
But I may be wrong.
ADR version of Lucy, yes. Like cartoon version of Lucy, yes. That's how I'm kind of perceiving this. Like this is not real world Lucy. This is more.
Well, this didn't write this.
Yeah, this is a fictional version of Lucy, and the author doesn't know. Like I have shared some photos like on certain servers where this author is, but like, yeah, like they don't fully know Lucy's like attitude and stuff. Although Lucy, when she was younger, like she would like tackle your legs. So I don't think she'd do it. She can't really do it nowadays, but she does like he got the whining down right, because my God, does she whine when like she's left alone for too long. But, and she does get like a little bit more active after like a few hours of being left alone. Like when I come back home from somewhere, like she is like trying to get out of her pen and stuff like that, and she just like waddles hurriedly toward. But like, yeah, it's sort of, again, this isn't like, this is a story. There's being some flourishes to the characters.
Yeah, all the characters are taken. They're made a little bit cartoony.
Yeah,
not in a bad way.
No,
and
like
it just rolls with it.
Yeah,
it's not meant to be one-to-one real life.
Yeah, like honestly, the way the story kind of plays out, I could see myself like making this into a little comic. And I would have like the kind of shenanigans, like the dog, like bowl, like a cartoon version of a comic book version of Lucy, just like bowling my character over.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Also, this is another sentence where I learned a new word because I didn't know what baying was.
Oh yeah, right. Oh,
the sound that a doggo makes while they're tracking something.
Yep. I also think when referencing like goats and stuff like they bay as well.
But they baw.
No. Bray. Sorry, I'm thinking braying. Like goats, like said bray.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like every time I learn a new word, it's like the gamer in yellow has learned baying, but can't learn any more words. Which one? Would you like?
It's like a Pokemon move.
Pretty much, yeah.
Your hard drive, your internal hard drive just has too much information. It has to be like some stuff has to be deleted.
Yeah, I only have a 1 gig internal hard drive, so
yeah.
I can only learn so many words.
Man, you really should upgrade to like some what is it, beta or deltaware? Sorry, Mikey.
Oh yes, going back to Shadowrun. Sorry, Mikey.
Yeah.
All right. So, the next quote here. Standing over the pair, Mikey cracked a smile for the first time that night and said, "Get a room, you two." At this point, I was still assuming that Mikey was only on one leg, which made me smile. And but I don't think he would say, "Get a room, you two." He would probably just roll his eyes. But at this point, we established that his eyes melted, so he couldn't do that.
You need to find some way aside from visualizing it. Yeah. Also, tell me you would not quip like something similar to this if like if I was going overboard with like playing with my dog.
Well, like I said, I might roll my eyes and just like, again.
Yeah.
It's a form of quip.
Yeah.
So because you would quip, you would have potentially said your quip like this.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Maybe.
I mean, we know you're a demon of few words, but when you do your quip or when you do your words, it's usually a quip.
As he falls silent.
Yeah. It's prophetic. It's like few prophetic words and quips, or that giggle.
Yes.
All right. So the next part, which broke my thought process that he'd lost the leg, but was also kind of funny. My leg was hit just before I broke the tree line, and I heard it recede into the woods when I crossed the water.
His leg did?
Yeah.
I didn't
Well,
catch
he
that
is.
until I heard you say it.
Yeah, same. It's like, well, he is a demon, so maybe like when you cut off a part of his like a limb, it gains sentience. Like, no, Mikey, I'm.
I'm just gonna make a new Mikey now.
Yeah,
Give him a
yeah. It's like my cosmic demons are like sea cucumbers. You chop it in half, there's suddenly 2 sea cucumbers.
Mhm.
There's suddenly 2 Mikeys.
Mhm.
Oops, another Mikey.
Yeah. All right. So my next actual thought, I have another couple quotes here.
Also, to clarify,
Uh,
that previous one have been a little bit of grammar situation. Like, should there be a different wording so there was no assumption that his leg retreated into the woods?
Yeah, like
Yes.
the creature, the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, moving on.
Yeah. All right. Don't forget that you two are going to go open up the cottage for the season. And this moved up the normal season closing and opening activities of pushing out the dock and finishing up syrup processing at the sugar shack. Opening the cottage and pushing out the dock is more than a 2-person job.
Yes, as somebody, I think all 3 of us have been. Well, you 2 have definitely been wrangled among like a couple of other of our friends when my dad is coming out to the cottage to bring our dock in or out. Like, so yeah,
Have
it
he
definitely.
ever been there?
Yeah,
I don't recall ever seeing him there.
it's like once or twice. Usually when you're not around.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But it's
From the other.
yeah, for real world clarity, it takes about at least 4 people to bring one of our docks in. Now
But
that
again,
said,
I
if
don't
this
necessarily
version,
know
yeah.
exactly what your cottage
Yeah,
is.
and that said, that is the real world like experience. I'm legitimately like serious when I said like my headcanon now for the review cultist and his cottage and stuff like that is that their family has a floatable one, which is a lot easier. Like that's a 2-person job like max.
Well, also, it's you, your dad, Mikey, and whatever friends you have at the cottage.
Yeah.
So it's entirely possible that
No, but
it would be fine.
this in this case, like it said, like it's just the 2 of you. Like it's not like dad's not going.
Is it actually just the 2?
Yeah, well, it's like it says dad like dad cultist gives cultist a that bag, and so it says to take Lucy. So like apparently Lucy's gonna help as well.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
That's like 4 people then.
yeah. What I'll get is where's Gamer in the waking world? Did Gamer die in the dream? So he died for real?
Yeah, that's how it works. That's how it works in that movie Gamer, right?
No, stay alive.
Oh, Stay Alive?
Yeah, Gamer's the one with Gamer's the live action like MMO where like people are like plugged into other people to have like a second life sort of situation.
Oh, I thought that was the one where like the dude is controlling the dude that's like disguised as another dude. No,
That's
I know.
Tropic Thunder.
The dude that's controlling a guy that's like murdering dudes.
Yeah, that's Gamer. But
Oh, okay.
but what you're referencing with like you die in the game, you die for real is from Stay Alive.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow.
We got there.
All right. So my next actual thought is just a general actual thought,
Okay.
and I didn't like the initials RC to reference cultist.
I use.
I would have liked it if it just said cultist.
Yeah, fair. That honestly, that's fair. I do use RC in my in shorthand when I'm doing like when I have used our review cultist before in like some comics and stuff like that, and some like comic strips and stuff. I have just reduced his name to RC. So
I'm not gonna lie. First time I saw it, and through most of the story, I had to fight myself from viewing review cultist as RC from Transformers.
Okay.
And I mean, we still haven't seen what's under that damn cloak. You could be RC from Transformers for all we know, and using, it's possible.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then, my next actual thought, is
No, I'm sorry. I'm just doing something here.
Oh, okay.
So, reading this, I had to disassociate my knowledge of Review Cultist Cottage so
Yeah.
that I could accurately visualize the cottage in this story.
Yes. Yeah, that's something I think all three of us had to do. Like, was like, this is not like, this is a fan's like version of our of what the Review Cultist Cottage is, because
I mean, you're still
We've
not
all-
off the hook.
fair. But like, we've all been to the actual real life cottage that my family owns and so that. We also have all done like maple syruping and so that. So like the sugar shack is different as well. Like we actually have, it's a lot more open. It's a much more open concept thing from what a traditional sugar shack is. In fact, I do know that the author here did consult a somebody who had a sugar shack for the proper nomenclature, but they were using more traditional like sugar shacks, which are even around here, like around where we live. There are sugar shacks that are more closely related to like how this sugar shack in the story is presented.
Yeah,
But-
Cultist does it a lot more redneck.
Yeah, we're a lot more of a guerrilla operation.
Yeah.
Guerrilla as in like the rough and tumble and like out in the field sort of situation, not like the animal, the gorilla.
No, you hired gorillas and put
Yes.
them on the assembly line.
Well, how else are
It's
we going to
like
get to
in
the
Pal
cottage?
World, that game that's coming out soon.
Yeah, exactly. How else are we going to get the taps out so far into the woods in the such snow? Like, we just send some silverbacks out there.
Mhm.
And now, it's like the North American house hippo. We got the Great Canadian
Maple
gorilla.
Gorilla.
Mapleback.
Yeah.
The Great Canadian Maplebacks. Commonly confused for Bigfoot. God, now I want to throw that into a comic or a story now. God damn it.
You get a lot of content out of this.
I
one.
am. Thank you, redacted until the end of this episode.
End of the episode, me.
Yeah.
Twist ending. It was Mikey the entire time.
Oh my god, that would be hilarious.
He wrote this like 10 years ago. He's like, oh god.
That's why he's so like critical about the crap.
Yeah. Bit of revelation, honestly.
Yeah. All right. We should really continue on.
Yeah, probably.
All right. So my last actual thought, I'm saving for after Gamer has done his, because I'm pretty sure he's going to bring it up, and I don't want to steal his thunder.
How generous.
Okay.
Right. Gamer, you're
Now I
up.
feel like I'm on the spot.
Yeah, you are.
I don't
You're
bring
up.
it up. Oh god. All right.
Just the spotlights.
Gulp. Let's see if I bring that up. So my first two I accidentally brought up in the start of my grammar in yellow, but that's fine. Moving on. Wind was picking up, chilling the pair to the bone and causing the trees to sway and creak. Do you have bones, Mikey? You're an unknowable being from beyond time and space. Do you has bones?
He's got star bones.
I think
Star bones. Oh yeah, man, star bones. Also, that is definitely the title of a shitty Star Wars porno.
Probably.
Starbones. Sorry.
You're not sorry.
No, I'm really not.
Yeah, I don't know if I have bones.
There's one way to find out if they break. Just stand right there. Let me get this baseball bat. No. We'll do science after. So
We'll do Mythos Busters later.
yes. Okay. So moving on. Things happen. Mikey describes that that the gamer in yellow without the W because his name is too long was taken by a forest monster.
Yeah.
And then it follows with this. Now, referring to the cultist, he paused and glanced out the window, scanning the tree line. What was it? Queried RC with an agitated tone. It feels so good to be missed, knowing that my friends are so concerned about my well-being. There's no is he okay or anything like that.
I mean, does that not track, gamer? No.
I mean, yeah,
Okay.
you guys would be like, thank God.
Oh my God.
Well, the thing is, it was left out that I actually shoved you, because the trees are actually the tangent police.
Oh shit. No, guys, you don't get it. Tangent police. What do they call a group of trees? A copse of trees.
My God.
That's what's under the SWAT gear. It's just trees under that SWAT gear.
I want to play as an ent that is a security officer.
Oh my! I am 100% down to run that in to be totally honest, gamer. So learning the Dresden accelerated game for One Less Die and RPX, I have a stronger sense of what Fate Accelerated can do, and we could make that happen.
How would you play as an ent? They're fucking huge. Would I be a sapling?
No, you'd be like a small, a human-sized ent creature, inside human-sized armor, SWAT armor. I legitimately kind of want to do like a tangent police and an SNTF game in Fate Accelerated sometime.
Wow.
I think it would be really fun and silly, but
it does seem nice and silly.
Yeah.
We should make a note of that somewhere.
Yeah, I'm totally writing that down.
We will forget that.
Yeah. And if not, redacted. You can remind me because you're my we talk, so
you talk to the voice in your head. I get it.
Yeah, clearly.
Obviously, you still wrote that.
Yeah, you're still keeping that bit up, aren't you?
For now, yeah. But yeah. Anyways, back to me being taken and no one giving a shit.
Okay, I want to clear the air a little bit. In real life, we would be I would be worried about what happened to you.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get to. That being said, on hearing that there's something out there that does that, takes people, self-preservation would be paramount at that point. You need to learn about what it is before you can worry about anything else, or if it's if you can get your friend back that was taken. So it's not completely wrong that they don't care about my safety. It's fine.
There's nothing we could really do because it came so fast and grabbed you, and then for all we know, you've already been chomped up and eaten.
Yes, but that's something Mikey could have said. It bit him in half and took his body. Oh, great. What was it?
or better yet, it's oh look, I've been impaled.
Yes. Some confirmation about what happened exactly.
Yeah,
would be nice.
Well, because again, it all happened so fast, so he doesn't really know what he does. It came out at them in a blur. So I thought it does.
It just said it took him.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it should have said it was all a blur. I didn't get a good view of what it was. It's in the trees somewhere. So he didn't even it happened so fast. He didn't realize that it was the trees. He thought it was something in the trees.
Yeah, it just says whatever it is moves quickly and sounds like thunder. So you could extrapolate that out to being it moves quickly. I didn't see it. I guess. But yeah. Either way, moving on. RC looked around the familiar environs of the shack.
That is actually a proper use of that word.
I've learned a third word. And
Sorry, I read that and I was like, I bet dollars to donuts. Someone like I figured it was gonna be, no offense, Gaber, I figured it was gonna be you that would comment about that.
Of
And I was like, I'm ready to counter this.
yeah, no.
Yeah.
Like if I read a word that I don't know, first thing I do is Google it.
Yeah.
To see if it's a real word or if it's like some horrid misspelling.
Yeah.
Either way, environ, whatever, is basically the surrounding area.
Yeah.
Very fancy way of saying that.
Yeah, it's a very fancy way of shortening environment.
Oh yeah, I guess yeah.
Yeah, because that's where it comes from.
Yeah. I feel like I'm learning more words here than any other story as of late.
Oh, so it's like having the Riz.
What's the Riz? I forgot that when I learned
It's
environment.
it's like a Generation Z like slang for charisma.
Oh, okay.
It comes from charisma because it's like you got the Riz, like you got the charisma.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now what's environ? Because I just forgot that. I can only know so many words.
Oh, God damn it.
It's fine.
Oh no, you forgot fire. That's why you forgot Fireball.
Yeah. But moving on.
Yes.
My last note. We get to RC waking up for the third time, and he's in a completely different environment now. Completely different environ now. I was kind of wondering where this would go, because like I kind of wish he would like keep waking up in crazier and crazier situations.
Yeah.
And initially, I wasn't really bothered by that. It was all a dream situation because there was a or was it situation
at the end
that I incorrectly read
that it should have been. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Now that you guys have opened my eyes to that, it might affect my recommendation a little bit.
Oh no!
Because I liked how there was a or was it situation at the end. There's no I wasn't in it or was it anymore. So
yeah, that's fair. I do kind of agree. Like how funny would it be? Like it's like so he gets like knocked out by the not Lucy in the sugar shack again for a second time. Wakes up and the sugar shack is on fire. And then it's revealed that the creature was actually Lucy, who mutates into this horrible monster and is attacking him. And that's where like the nightmare keeps going in. Mm-hmm. Like it gets darker and creepier and more like sinister as it goes on. And then he finally wakes up, or does he? Kind of thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd be kind of cool if this was like a complete loop that kept going.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't end with him just looking at the bottle. Like something else happens that's even crazier and knocks him out, and then he wakes up somewhere else, and then something else knocks him out, and then he wakes up at the start of the actual story. So it's like an actual full loop.
Yeah. Like
the last wake up is him waking up at the cottage with the wheel spinning on his SUV. Like because on this last one he wakes up and he's gonna go to the cottage. So then basically the ending is what happened to cause him to spin out.
That's true, yeah.
So then his whole life isn't just in a loop of these events happening.
It's not a loop. It's a spiral.
Sure. But I feel like that would be a cooler way to end it.
Yeah.
But that's the end of my notes.
Okay. Well, let's move on to final thoughts. Oh wait, hang on. Yes, sorry, Mikey. You had something. Mikey, you had something before we go into final thoughts?
What did I miss?
Well, with all the waking up, this story has a severe lack of popsicle sticks.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, I mean, people who I'm not. This is being silly. You know, if you were a real fan, redacted, you might catch on to that whole thing where we constantly reference that Game Grumps joke.
Yeah,
but also like I
woke up with a popsicle stick in my mouth.
That said, perhaps. Yeah, that said, perhaps it is a good thing that it isn't referenced because it isn't our joke.
No,
it's one that we just. It's from the Game Grumps, from a Game Grumps episode that we just continually reference. So it's probably good that they didn't reference that.
Indeed.
But
that was it.
Okay. So on to final thoughts then. So This was very fun and incredibly flattering to read. I can see using this, like some of the stuff in here, I can see using for game fodder. Honestly, like some, like again, like the copse of trees that are actually
Leaves of trees.
the copse of trees that are actually the tangent police finally like getting their vengeance on us. That's what it was all actually about. Or that like people getting trapped in in the dreamlands and like living in a simulacrum there because of Hypnos, the god of dreams and such, or like having this being stuck in a time loop where like they have a vision of events that are about to transpire and then they realize that they're about to enter the same like cycle. That could be really cool to play with in a game, especially if you like start like adding that like they try to break out of it and it just kind of leads them back to the events, or it just gets worse and worse. So it could be a cool like chrono horror or like time horror kind of situation. The trees wanting their syrup back is also really cool. Like the idea that like the maple trees are wanting their maple syrup back.
You're basically bloodletting them.
Yeah. Basically, we're vampires.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's basically like a Canadian version of I Am Legend, where the vampire society took over Earth, and there's one human left, and they have become the monster of the vampire society.
It should be called I Am Canadian.
I am Canadian. Yeah.
Like the mostly Canadian commercial.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. It's just I am Canadian. Yeah. No, I am legend, eh?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. It's just Doug McKenzie's like, oh yeah, I'm legend, eh? But anyway, yeah. So I'm a bit biased by this story given the subject.
A little bit.
But I think as a fan-made ADR like story involving the Al Dente Rigor Mortis crew, with a few tweaks and even some more like flourish and kind of leaning into the horror as well as some like the silly notes that we commented about, I could recommend this. But as it is right now, I can only really partially recommend this. Because like it wasn't incredibly scary or creepy, but it was incredibly flattering and just a cool story to read from a fan. So yeah, that's my recommendation. Mikey, the stands for evil.
All right. So I feel like this story needs more description of scenes, mainly because it has to dislodge our own headcanon.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's probably harder for us to read because we keep connecting it to the real life place.
Yeah, like somebody else. If you wanted to actually make this into an actual creepypasta, like I feel like other people, not us, might find it more enjoyable. Maybe even find it more creepy because they don't have all the obstacles that we have to jump over. To like to pull ourselves out of like our own like pull our heads out of our own asses.
Yeah.
Of headcanons and stuff like that to our own worlds and just enjoy like for what is written or like this version that is written. So yeah.
Yeah.
I tried to keep my head out of my ass as much as I could, but
I mean it's just we're all pretty stuck there.
Yeah. So I like the thought process of Mikey losing a leg.
Yeah, I think that would be a good addition.
But it wasn't built upon or even really mentioned that he only had one leg. Just that the most we get is that his leg was hit.
Yeah.
Not that it was
like
taken.
Not to interrupt, but I'm going to interrupt.
I'll let you finish.
Just because we never really brought it up, his injuries are kind of glossed over as to what actually happened. Like, it's really generic.
It kind of just feels like the thing just like whacked his leg and hurt it, so he has trouble walking. But like it's because if it had been like that, his leg was removed. There's so many incidental version like words that are used to like for like to comment on like that like he's missing a leg or something. It's like it would have been perfect if it had actually been like his leg was removed.
Mhm. Yeah. So continuing, I liked the bottle at the end until I went back and realized that the bottle wasn't the same
Yeah,
bottle.
I think that's I think that was all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I wish it had been like an exact copy of the one from the Dream, because that would have made it more surreal, creepy.
Mhm.
Or even just
Yeah.
temporarily the same.
Yeah, even if it had been like
Yeah.
he has, or like suddenly he like as soon as he looks at it and it's the same, he suddenly has like a headache, kind of like the concussion, and then like when he blinks again, it's not the same bottle.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like he has
And
phantom pain from like the concussion in the Dream, kind of thing. Yeah.
Also, I'm surprised you don't refer to yourself as I when you're referring to review cultists doing things.
Well, because behind the curtain, I'm not actually the review cult. I only play him on this podcast.
What are you talking about? I'm actually the gamer in yellow.
Yeah, yes, sure, yeah. For the bit, right?
No.
I mean, technically, I'm probably Nyarlathotep, to be honest, because I have so many damn names.
Do you?
I have, well, there's Review Cultist, there's Crazon, there's my actual name, Chris. Weird. Like anybody who like listens to One Less Die knows what my actual name is. So.
Oh shit, you're right.
But yeah, for the bit of like the show and stuff like that, yeah, like behind the curtain, like yeah, like that's why I usually refer and also like sometimes I'm referencing like the character in this story kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
this story is gonna this episode's very meta because we're sort of like we're I that's why I feel like I can like kind of break character a little bit and use and like comment on that kind of stuff, because this story kind of is very meta to me, which kind of also gave it points because I love meta fiction. So, but sorry, Mikey, continue.
Yeah. So while it was an interesting read because it's quote unquote done by a fan,
Look,
as we haven't had the reveal yet.
As Mikey's looking in my direction.
He can be a fan of his own content. You always have to be your first fan, because if you don't enjoy it, then no one else will.
True.
I do not recommend this.
Okay.
But then again, it's also because of the biases of knowing what Review Cultist Cottage actually is versus what is in the story, and
Yeah, like you
having to
basically.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because there wasn't enough description of the scenes to differentiate it. Because eventually you do get the headcanon that it's likely a cottage on a lake, not on an island. But it takes so long to actually build the picture that versus what reality we have.
What we actually know about the cottage and stuff like that. Like yeah, we had to again. Like I feel like your opinion on this is very much valid, because it is hard to sort of like disassociate from something that you know is wrong, but you know that because like the person doesn't know all the details about about the setting or the location kind of thing.
It's pretty easy for me on.
Yeah, I mean, in some cases it is, but sometimes people can't reconcile. So yeah. It's why we get why there's so much like anger. I think I honestly think that's probably why there's so much anger a lot of the time in like fandoms, is because people just can't disassociate or reconcile like what if scenarios and fan fiction. where like people change something in a setting.
And
Or
then
like
they assume that's the real one.
Yeah, it's sort of like think I think actually more recently the Halo TV the Halo series, like the Halo show. But like it's a good show. Hang on. I will 100% defend that show as a good and interesting sci-fi series.
As a man who has never seen the show, I will defend about how terrible it is.
I will say it is not my Halo. Because it is but it is an interesting version of Halo, but it is not canonically the same. Like it is not an adaptation. It is an adaptation in that they took the all the different components and parts of the story and setting of Halo and decided to make something that was like in another reality.
It's Halo with the names filed off and then messily written back on with a Sharpie.
That's one way. See, I feel like even that is like the same kind of thing as like not being able to dissociate, because like, why can't it just be like it's an alternative version of Halo, not like the names filed off and then messily scribbled back on? It's like, no, it's just
this right now on recording, but
no, yeah.
It's because there's never been. There's only been one canon of Halo this entire time.
Not true.
What's a different canon?
There's all the like this is the thing, like
cannons and then
counted as like yeah. No, it's basically I see it kind of it's just like it's a fan fiction AU version of Halo. Like it's not, and they even have said like it's not canon to Halo. So it's a show that uses Halo as a setting but changes it and tweaks it to their own designs.
I guess.
And that's what I'm saying. Like,
and Chief has to shut the fuck up and hide his ass.
I mean,
fine.
I mean, to be fair, honestly, like I that's one of the things I just like. I was able to disconnect after that, and I was like, okay, this is not a remake of the Halo series. This is an adaptation. Which is not a replica by its nature by the description of that term. So it's fine. Like, but I know a lot of people hate it because it's not the same as Halo the games.
It's also a lot like the new Saints Row game.
Yeah.
If it wasn't called Saints Row, I'm sure it would have done fine.
Yeah.
But it's not a Saints Row game.
Yeah. Like that's all I'm trying to get here with the point is like that this is how difficult it is sometimes for fandoms or for people who are like invested in something to disassociate from something that is similar, that is derived from something that you love and then like, or that you know, and somebody has made it different. Like that's how I'm trying to use this for this example.
Yes.
So, yeah.
We got there.
Yeah, it's
all that out.
No, I'm not cutting any of that out because that was gold. But like also like that almost turned into a fan fight between you and me.
A little bit
about Halo. But I will stop talking.
You have to do the outro though. You can't completely stop talking.
Oh, that's right. I also have to reveal the secret of this episode.
Oh, yes.
But so Mikey, so you're not going to recommend it because you couldn't disassociate from what you know about the setting.
Yeah.
Okay. Gamer, your recommendation and final thoughts.
Yeah. I did enjoy the read, honestly, partially because it's written for the show, so it gets props for that.
Yeah.
But also it did a couple of things that normally bug me, but did them well enough that I didn't have a problem with them. Namely, starting with media res, and initially it was all a dream was handled well, I thought, because I thought there was still a connection.
It could have been.
Dream,
yeah.
But there wasn't, because it's a different model by the end. There's a severe lack of Gamer in Yellow in this.
Yeah.
But I'm going to assume that I'm busy having a Naruto or DBZ style anime battle with a bunch of saplings over there.
Yeah.
And not absolutely ripped to pieces like I absolutely am in this.
Or how I kind of,
honestly, for the record, I don't care if I die.
Yeah, I think that would, because also that was a dream. So like, there's a chance that like perhaps when the loop comes back around, that might not happen. But it's also, like
this is Review Cultist Dream, and in your dream, you would absolutely kill me.
I mean, yeah.
So that makes a lot of sense, honestly, now that I think about it.
It's like, I mean, yeah, that checks.
So our monster comes out, and he absolutely destroys Gamer in Yellow. Just
Yeah.
draws and quarters him. It was glorious.
Yes.
I mean, we were totally horrified by this.
But we were just like, but it was amazing.
Yeah.
I was amazed
Hmm.
at the gore and how fast, how wide it spread.
Yes. But no, yeah.
See, that's how you know it's not me that wrote this. I would have written up a full page of just graphic details how your character
how
was,
I die.
how you were eviscerated.
That's true. I still don't believe you yet, though.
That's fair.
But no, it was a good read. I liked it. These suggestions that we had to change the ending, I believe, are for the better. Either make it so it is actually the same maple syrup jug, or have it be the same for half a second and then he blinks and then it's different. Or the suggestion I had where it continues and goes on and then we get to see what happened at the start that caused him to wreck his SUV and get a headache. And as the cycle basically loops. And like the last paragraph is just the first sentence of the start of the story to have it be a full loop of him being stuck in this.
Yeah.
All those suggestions, either any of those being taken, I would fully recommend this, because that's really the only thing that kind of pulled me out of this is just the ending could have had a little bit more snap to it.
Yeah.
But as it is, I'll still partially recommend it because I did enjoy the read. It was fun. I just feel like it needs a punchier ending. That's all.
Fair. So I guess that'll be 2 partial recommendations and 1 non-recommendation. We just, some of us couldn't reconcile over others, and there is potential here, but and again, we're all like incredibly flattered by this.
Oh, sure.
Yep.
So here's the reveal. The author of The Cottage is none other than ADR superfan Brownie.
Oh, hell yeah.
And you may remember Brownie mentioned as the guy who fucking mailed me a creepypasta artifact of the Pokemon Black, like creepy black game cartridge that's actually playable. And that me and Gamer are still working on capturing video footage and stuff for.
We have started doing it.
We have started. It will go up eventually.
Yeah.
T-minus ...
Yeah. We're gonna try to make that a little bit more comfortable.
Regular. Yeah.
It's still a
Well,
little bit
we did make it. We did figure out some things about our rig that.
Oh yeah, it's like you just move the freaking console closer, which would help a lot.
Yeah, but yeah, so yeah, this story was written by Brownie, and he asked me to hold off revealing who it was that did this until after the fact, if I wanted to. And I as soon as like I started getting like stuff from you guys, it's like, well, clearly this is from Review Cultist, so I'm going to be super thorough. And I was super thorough in my grammar inquisition and stuff like that. And I was like, and I'm just like here, and I'm just here texting Brownie. It's like, so we're doing the recording and they think it's me and they have a lot of stuff to do about their grammar inquisition. And he's just basically looking very smug over there in the States. So yeah, this was amazing. Like this was awesome that we got a piece of fan fiction. And what was the other thing? Also, this was edited by the story is also edited by somebody, Jessica, I think. Hang on.
Yes, I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. On the top it says it's edited by I'm not gonna say her last name, but it's by edited by somebody that Brownie knew called Jessica. He apparently he lives in a part of the States where like they actually do have maple syruping and stuff like that. So he actually contacted somebody who has like maple syruping like kind of background to get some of the nomenclature. So that's why like the cupola was used and like how the like when they're talking about like the spigot and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's really good that you did that, because if you're writing something that you don't know, people will know.
Yeah.
So and if you don't know something, find someone who does know something, so then you can know something. So
yeah,
you did that absolutely right.
Yeah. It's funny that you guys like both thought it was me like for the longest time because it's on a PDF. Because he sent me a message like a few like days ago. It was like, ah, crap! I left my name in the metadata of the PDF. Whoops. But I was like, I'm sure they're not going to look the metadata.
I'm gonna add that to the list of things to check now when I
When
get a
checking-
random PDF from you.
All right, I'll be more
With a
thorough to
redacted, name on it. Yeah.
note to my own self. Edit metadata
Damn it.
because I can easily edit the metadata. But like I'd already sent the email. I was like, well, I mean, if they find out, they find out. But I doubt they're gonna look that hard into the PDF's like metadata and like
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I wasn't too concerned about you
Yeah.
guys discovering it, but
Yeah, there it
You're
is.
opening it right now and seeing it.
Mikey's, yeah, I love that. That was perfect. Oh,
Oh, there it is.
it's right there. Yeah. I will ask Brownie if I can leave a link in the description of this episode for this to be of like so people can actually read it themselves. But yeah, I think the like
Just because I don't have to. Like, you get so much grammar, you basically read the whole story.
well, and the thing that is true. And with that said, also like honestly, Brownie, if like take any of that we just read, like for like take it or leave it, like anything that we've mentioned about the story, like I think you could actually like write, like you could add some things here or edit some things into the story to make it more creepy and more like just more elaborate. But again, I personally am like flabbergasted and flattered that you decide to write a creepypasta or a fan fiction about Al Dente Rigor Mortis. So
Flabbergasted.
yeah. Flattered gasted.
Yeah, it's flattered and flabbergasted together.
Yes. So yeah, I think
New
that'll
word.
we've created a new word.
What's called again?
So yeah, I think that's where we're gonna leave off then. So that has been this week's episode. If you like what you heard, or if you didn't, leave us a comment in the comment section below where this gets posted. We're all on Twitter. Mikey is at the E stands for evil. The Gamer in Yellow is at the Gamer in Yellow, but without that W at the end because it's very long.
Yeah, my name is way too long.
Yeah. And I'm at Review Cultist. You can also send us emails at aldenterigamortis@gmail.com. That's ALDENTERIGAMORTIS@gmail.com. Where you can also leave us suggestions for other creepypastas, SCPs, fan fictions, fan art. We're still looking for those Gamer the Killer pieces of art. Regardless, you creep it, we'll peep it. Yeah. And if you'd like to help support our show financially, you can be like Brownie and become a patron on Patreon. Select the backer tier you'd like to support us at, and select the backer tier you'd like to support us at. We have $5 and $2 tiers with special episodes, early access, extra content. To our patrons who are helping support the show, thank you immensely. You're helping keep those hosting bills at bay. And as always, that's very much appreciated. And to all our listeners and the author of this story, thank you. Because without your listenership, it'd be like screaming to the void. And without fan fiction, like guys, this is like I think this is the second piece of actual like ADR specific fan fiction we have gotten on the show.
That is great.
And I like without the stories that people write online and to scare people and get spooked by, we really wouldn't have much of a show because we'd have nothing to talk about. Once again, thank you, Brownie, and thank you, audience, for all the years of spooky discussion that we have had on the show. Until next time, I have been your host, Review Cultist.
I'm Mikey. The E stands for evil.
And I'm the Gamer in Yellow.
And this has been Al Dente Rigor Mortis. Sleep well.